YouTube.
I'm muted. I started it already.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. It should be live as well. I'm checking.
Well, at least no one heard my goofiness.
All right, we are live and on air in YouTube and Twitch. So welcome everyone to the Thursday Foolish Tech Show. We're here primarily to provide support and answer any questions for our software services. If you'd like to do that, you can join our IRC chat at foolishtechshow.com. There's a few ways that you can join that chat there, and you can talk directly to us. Looks like we got the Futures Tech crew in there. Hey, welcome. Shook, USS Rover, and DG Murdoch III. So welcome all. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday? Good?
Yeah, good. Doing well.
Excellent. Well, if you want a song to be stuck in your head for the rest of today and probably tomorrow, just go ahead and crank this up at full volume there.
Well, good thing that I can't play audio while streaming.
Yeah. Bacon pancakes is all I'm going to say. It's worth it. Oh no, it's raining up with the Futures Tech crew. Drive safe out there. I'm sure it's much safer.
Are they traveling? I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sure at some point they're going to travel.
Oh, that's why I need my chat. Where's my X chat?
Yeah, Nels loves that song. It's a good song. So we had talked about Pokemon Go and people getting robbed. I don't know if we had a specific link about it, but there's another one, or maybe possibly the same one we've already talked about. But it shows a picture of the three guys that would lure people in Pokemon Go and mug them in real life. So, hey, by the way, how do y'all pronounce that? Is it lure or lure? Or
Lure. You shouldn't have said anything. Lure. No, I actually have two. I was just talking to Mute a minute ago. I have two links on that actually. Let me see if you got one.
Okay.
I've got tons of cool stuff to talk about if you guys run out of stuff.
Then again, I probably just got in the chat too late.
Lures.
Yeah, I collected several of them today. There's
collected several Pokemon. Awesome.
No.
Nick's out walking around the neighborhood. Pokemon.
No. The guy who got stabbed and refused treatment because he asked someone randomly to battle him, and the guy didn't know what he was talking about, so he stabbed him. And then something about like 9 kids getting robbed, and then like 11 kids getting robbed, and that's a
Yeah, the one I posted was about 8 or 9 kids getting robbed.
Oh, and there was already something I think about a pedophile. I'm gonna have to look again. Or maybe it was just a speculation thing. Someone apparently here at the bottom of this article has like several things, but it doesn't link to them. It's weird, but the Telegraph. But a group of 11 youngsters were robbed in Missouri with a beacon. Let's see. Oh, children got hurt crossing the street, of course. Oh, this one was interesting. Trying to catch a Pokemon led a teenager to a dead body in a river.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did a dude make a little Poke Portal thing there after he killed the person, or
no? So certain types of Pokemon appear
Near water.
near different things. So water is an example.
Oh,
Forest
okay.
ones near parks and things, and then regular
Yeah.
ones just near everywhere.
Here's one for 9 victims. Let's see. Apparently, there were 3 perpetrators doing this. 17, 18, and 18.
Yes,
And they robbed 9 kids.
yeah, traveling in groups is a much better idea.
Yeah, I know, but I think they robbed all 9 of them at once. I mean, that's a group of 9. I mean, but they're still kids. These are 3 adults, basically.
The way I read it, that's the one I had posted, and it says
Oh.
about 8 or 9 people have been robbed by 4 men over the past couple of days. So but still, it is. I mean, even in a group, you're right. If there's a group of people without guns and there's a person with a gun,
yeah.
one of them wins out already. So, the other side of that, though, is definitely, even if you're in your car, make sure you have your doors locked and things like that, because I mean, carjacking seems like the most likely thing.
Yeah, especially if you're slowing down to do your battles.
Well, and you're not paying attention. You're looking at your phone.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't get this. Oh gosh, that's so hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Can I shoot out a couple things?
Maybe if you explain them while you do that.
Yeah, I absolutely will. So on the ransomware front, it looks like, and this is yet another reason why not to pay, but this ransomware claims to be ransomware and wants the money, but it actually just deletes your files and will never give.
I saw that.
So
CryptXXX does block one of the executables by default level with the app data. The other one gets put in the temp folder, and that would be blockable by maximum.
Yeah, local app data /star. So that's good news. But again, please don't ever trust the people threatening you. Let's see. Okay, and Nintendo, this is cool. Engadget's got a little article about this, and I just revamped my RetroPie Pi 2, and my brother is asked what he could do for his wife who wanted to play her old Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, and so I of course recommended a Pi to him as well. But now, hey, look what Nintendo did. They said, hey, we noticed a lot of customers have a desire for this. Let's put out a product to serve that. Now, while I do believe the Pis are a better choice in that they're flexible to do a whole lot of things, not just emulation.
The Pis are legal, though. Emulation is only if you have a copy of the game.
Yeah, you do have to actually own the games. But in this case, and in the case of most of us, we own a large collection of those old games.
And I don't believe you can play. I mean, no, obviously it does. It looks like you cannot play original cartridges on that thing either. So
you can't play your original cartridges on. Oh no, it just comes with the games built in.
That's what I read of it, and I mean that's what
they're not going to fit. I can tell you that by looking.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Not going to physically fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cartridge is as big as that thing.
Yeah, you're right. Come to think of it, I just realized that as well. But it's I guess original price for actual Nintendo hardware, and if all those games that you want are just on that, it might be an okay choice. But
better than that $500 or $5,000 thing we were looking at the other day with an extra $80 for the HDMI input, which is why they were bragging about the thing.
Yeah, well, but at least again that plays the actual carts if you still got them. I don't know. This could be something out there, but there's all those knockoff ones that are out there, and they probably work just about as well. So I don't know. I guess it's up to you guys to determine if that's something that's worthwhile. But I like retro gaming, so I figure I'd mention it.
Eric. Wait, Eric, that link you posted, I would totally hang my desktop computer by my video cable. That seems like a completely reasonable.
Oh Lord, I have stuff like this.
I've kind of done that before, I think.
Yeah.
Not really intentionally.
Wow. Oh wow.
Dang, that is.
Whoa!
That's crazy. I know. It's just making me cringe at some of those pictures.
I like the replacement projector too. That's a pretty works in a jam.
So, have you guys? It looks like that Dropbox is doing a new.
I think I've seen that machine with all that dust before.
It looks like Dropbox has been using a new form of compression on their data, and they open sourced it. And I don't know.
And now people are stealing stuff.
No, this is nothing bad about this at all, as far as I can say. But it looks pretty impressive, though, and it's talking about JPEG images specifically. But apparently, it's a bit-for-bit reproduction, so it's not lossy in any way. This compression, and it's a 22% savings in space on existing JPEGs, and it apparently performs reasonably quickly as well for compression and decompression. I don't know. That's pretty sweet. I've always been fascinated by compression algorithms, and it's amazing how we can still, this day and age, come up with some new new options. But I will note though that most of the newer types of compressions target specific file types and formats to achieve some of what they do, and they aren't as maybe general purpose as some of the previous algorithms have been in the past. But that's a minor point, I think. Listen, I was really interested in the 5G debate for a couple of reasons. Well, one, because the telecom companies are apparently strong-arming both our government and the European governments to make demands of them if they want a good, easy 5G rollout to everyone. Or, so it literally seems like the cell phone companies are going to countries and they're threatening basically not to roll out 5G well to them unless they comply with some of their demands. And well, some of the demands are understandable, some of the demands maybe not so much. That's kind of a side. I'm sorry, I did that twice. My apologies. But basically, there's a toll spectrum. It's going to be above the 24 gigahertz range. That's going to be used for 5G, and it looks like it's gonna be coming pretty soon. And this is great. Now the bandwidth is available, but I would keep a close. Now, this article doesn't mention any of the other stuff I was talking about, but I would keep a close tie on this. It's the first time I've ever seen. Maybe it's happened before, but I didn't realize telecom was in a position to threaten nation states and even our government making demands. I don't know that this is related.
Yeah, that's what you get when you provide easy, unfettered access of all your data to them. You get to make demands. Say, hey, do you want access to our entire nation of customers? Then you gotta meet our demands.
Yeah.
CryptXXX has a couple of extensions, at least not all of them, where you can get your files decrypted for free.
Oh, really?
CryptXXX,
that's great. Yeah. That was a big one for that hit a lot of people really quickly.
Yeah,
and,
it's on Bleeping Computer today.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good. Give people other options out there than, again, paying. I snuck this in before I was hearing what you were saying there. My apologies for that. But just a brief mention, the Consumer Reports seems to be anti-Tesla a little bit with that autopilot crash recently. Although I kind of understand their position. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this before in the past. Some of us have said, well, it's the consumers who are doing things grossly wrong and outside of what Tesla wants. But Consumer Reports does make a good point that they could do more to ensure that the driver does have his hands on the wheel or something like that. But some of the improvements that they suggest might actually require engineering changes. And
I would think they could just have like a voice activation or something like that, or
how do you
put your hand on there, or even a camera should know where your hands are inside the car, just like the Microsoft Sense stuff or whatever.
As long as it already has the type of sensing equipment in there to do that, then yes. But if, for instance, they don't have a mechanism to accurately detect the presence of someone, or
they got a 17-inch screen, they can always just do a button push. Are you paying attention? Autopilot will turn off in 3 seconds.
Okay. Well, anyway, if it is truly that easy, then there's no reason, in my opinion, why they couldn't do what Consumer Reports suggests. To make it safer. I do believe that some of these things do need some time kind of to determine whether, you can't just claim safety without any historical perspective on a new technology. So, I mean, I understand that they have to work to gain trust in consumers, but they need to do whatever they can right now to appease even stupid consumers right now in the early adoption of this technology to avoid getting whiplash like this. Phoenix has thrown in some links for us too. I don't know. I haven't looked at any of this.
Well, the Spiceworks link earlier with the crazy IT photos.
Mm-hmm.
This link was in that, but it has some more photos that are even funnier.
Mm.
Oh, anxiety and excitement are both similar arousal state of emotions. Oh, well, I was just reading that this little life hacker thing I'm looking, that caught my eye. Ease anxiety around stressful situations by saying, I am excited. Apparently there's a video. I don't think it'll work for me though. Although I believe I just did that the other day. Said something similar anyway.
That's interesting. Try that out, folks, and let us know how it goes for you. Listen, so looks like Donald Trump chose his running mate. I thought this was interesting, though, about some of the previous positions this running mate had. He apparently...
Are you talking about politics again, Michael?
I am, but just in the sense of what this guy has posted in the past. I don't want to go into any details of why or why not you might want to choose a candidate, but I just thought it's interesting to see some of the previous things that this gentleman has been ranting about online. But make your own judgments, of course. And
okay, well, if you're going to get into it, I just saw that on Gizmodo. It's a gigantic list of tech leaders that just publicly slammed Donald Trump with a letter. Check it.
Oh, really? Tech leaders? So they're not tech leaders aren't pro-Trump?
No.
Yeah, there was Phoenix also. Was it Phoenix? Somebody posted another link about Trump and tech companies.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the same one, maybe?
Disaster for innovation.
Well, Medium, same thing.
Proctor, that link he posted, the 15 with the low profile, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Oh, shit.
I missed it.
Huh?
Well, we knew that.
Posted something?
It's the Mashable.com.
Yeah. It's the full list of those computer things.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
The one right below it, number 16, is even better. The soldered 3 millimeters, 3.5.
Dude, man, number 4, that dirty mouse.
Yeah, it's hard to
number
look
5. Okay, see, that's bad, but I haven't made it all the way down the list. I'm just looking at number 5, and that's bad. But Brantley and Michael both worked in the same college town that I did. I worked with each of them at different times, and I think you both know, or Brantley especially, that in a college town especially, you get a lot of laptop keyboards. And Brantley was our laptop guy, by the way. You get a lot of laptop keyboards in that they got hairs in them that didn't come from that person's head.
Well, they're okay. I mean, that has happened before. That has happened before. I try not to think about those types of things, and I try to always clean the machine. The things that our store did, and I'm sure a lot of the stores out there do, is provide some cleaning of the machines, and not for the customer's benefit, for your health and welfare and safety. But yeah,
I've had some come in over the years that I wanted to call the client and have them clean it first before I touched it.
And back at that college town, we had put we sent several of them right back on home. As like they came in, and when the bugs start, like a lot of them always come in with dead bugs in them, but when the bugs start coming out and attacking you, then you bag it and
sit it out the door.
Bag it, set it outside, call it.
Yeah.
Oh, Phoenix posted a good link. This Triumphs warrant case against U.S. government. Check out that link, the second current warrant case. So this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was a case where that data transferred to a server outside the country. Let me see if I can find the article I had. One moment. But Microsoft, yeah, okay. That it run a reversal of a court order that required it to turn over to the United States government the contents of customers' email accounts stored on an Irish server. So this is it's a big privacy victory, and it's good to see larger companies like this push back. I guess there's some people that are going to argue that this is going to make it difficult to ferret out terrorists and other types of groups that you don't want. But I don't know. I don't believe, and that goes right along actually with this Fourth Amendment push. Did you guys see? Did you guys see that? It looks like there's a Fourth Amendment caucus, which is basically, again, talking about the same thing. They're concerned that, basically surveillance without any sort of, warrant or, basically unreasonable search and seizure, that type of thing. It's a huge concern, and I'm glad it seems to be bipartisan. 13 Republicans and 12 Democrats. I mean, and I'll post the link that I have. I don't know, is it the same one? No, this is a USA Today article.
What's about 5G networks? You see?
Oh yeah, we talked about that. The spectrum opened up.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's good. So I mean, the technology is in place, but that's good. I like those auctions of the spectrum. There's no reason for the spectrum to be excluded anymore now that it's all digital and being used much more effectively. Apple launching a reality show called Planet of the Apps. Yeah, I don't. Reality in the title, and I immediately skip over it. So thanks, guys.
Same. Like, I got a reality right here. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, real reality is hard enough sometimes. I don't need something else claiming to be something that is probably the farthest thing from reality.
What about
at least the reality that I want?
What about relativity?
About it.
Someone bought Einstein's leather jacket for $150,000.
Dang.
His family must be totally happy about that.
Yeah. I wish I had a leather jacket worth $150,000.
I know, right?
Describes the jacket as rather pungent.
Yeah.
It looks pretty rough.
It does look really rough, but I'm guessing if somebody did want to try to like clone him or something like that, there's probably enough DNA in it to make something like that work.
Probably so.
Brantley? Did you read about the ex Google guy who did the blockchain stuff, the Bitcoin like blockchain system for banks?
What?
So Google engineer who was big behind the speech recognition in Android and OK Google and all that. Looks like he launches a system aimed at banks for blockchain. Right? Because Bitcoin, that's one of the big strengths of Bitcoin is blockchain, right?
Yeah.
And verification, stuff like that. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you guys heard or used the Maxthon web browser? Anybody?
No. That's because it sends information to China.
Yeah, I've actually heard of Maxton, and I've seen it on consumers' PCs before. I never really had a stance on it so much, and I know there's a whole bunch of third-party browsers that some consumers love. But if you see any of your customers that have this, you may want to point this new news out to them. If they value their protection and privacy of their data, and they might not want to send all of that to China.
Why? Rover? Who are you, Rover? Do I know you? USS.
Oh,
I met you
and
the other
second,
day.
what do you think about this? And immediately net neutrality came to mind, although this is a slightly different case than is normally applied to it. But Netflix, basically, when they're streaming HD to your browser, apparently limits it to 720p, and only on Microsoft Edge will it play at 1080p.
What?
Yeah.
Did you confirm this, Brantley? Because
It's always been that way.
well, I know, but they have the
I
option
was zoning.
1080p and 1080p 60 frames per second and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit unclear. I'm able to do that in Chrome and select higher than 1080p resolution. So what? Oh, but sorry. Yeah, it's just Netflix. That's right.
From Netflix. Okay.
That's what I missed about this.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, Netflix content. So
Yeah. Okay.
they play. It plays at 1080p, and for no other reason other than it not having the browser identifier that Edge has, it plays in 720p on the other browsers. I mean, isn't that the basically the definition of net neutrality is basically somebody saying, delivering a different experience depending on what.
Can you modify the user agent string on
Yeah, you
Chrome
can.
devices?
You can. And that might be a way to circumvent.
Or is that?
I actually made the assumption.
Yeah, CAS is not used though.
I made the assumption that that's the way that they do it.
Yeah, it is
I don't know if
used
that's
too. The main usage is for between mobile and desktops.
Well, I was thinking specifically on my Nexus player that crashes every 10 seconds.
Oh.
Mm.
And one thing that I didn't know, there's a special key combination, Control-Alt-Shift-D, and I'm going to have to look at that, but you can display the statistics and the resolution and all that. Control-Alt-Shift-D, I'm guessing, when you go to Netflix and you're playing a movie in a browser.
Speaking of streaming, BitTorrent News is going to start broadcasting on July 18th. I'm wondering how you get on this. Apparently, it's will kick off on doing the Republican National Convention.
Yeah. My mom is basically out of work for 2 weeks because of that.
That could be interesting. BTN News.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Let's see what happens.
Probably nothing.
Quiet.
They'll die. That's
Oh.
obscurity.
Do you need financial advice but don't like using more space than a napkin? This will help you.
What?
Napkin finance. That is some pretty technical drawing and schematics for a napkin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be really
pre-printed.
patient to get that.
Yeah, pre-printed.
To get that down with a special pen and a bar.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not careful, you'll tear the napkin too.
Yeah, that's not.
The ink is so vivid.
I know that they didn't draw these. This is not. I mean, yeah, it might fit on a napkin, but they didn't
Nowhere.
fit on a napkin. What else is going on?
Google has ended their lawsuit against Mississippi AG over privacy practices.
Oh, is this correct? Is this a USB 3. Well, it's only Gen 1. It's not Gen 2. See, this is what I hate. So you get a review like this, okay? Not a huge fan of this site, but anyway, you get a review like this, and you see USB 3.1. You know, the Gen 1 though is so important. USB 3.1 Gen 1 is basically USB 3.0 speeds. There's no difference. USB 3.0 and 3.1 Gen 1 are the same thing. The only thing unique about this is that they're implemented with the Type-C connector, and I think that's their justification for giving it the 3.1 moniker. In my opinion, 3.1 should have just been 3.1, no Gen this, Gen that, okay? Because you're either transferring in 3.0 speeds, like 5 gigabits per second, or you're transferring at 3.1 speeds, which is 10 gigabits per second. But don't tell me that you're 3.1 and only operating at the same speed as the 3.0 drive, okay? Because then what the fuck is in a name? I'm sorry. But just be careful because I've been looking at enclosures or docks that are.
You didn't stand up during all that.
I'm looking at enclosures and docking stations, you know, that have basically 3.1 10 gig support. And I have got a Type-C connector, and I've got that support on my motherboard, and so I wanted to find something. I've noticed that there's very few out there. I finally found one device out there that basically does it, and it's only a single dock, and so I didn't even want to get it, that actually supports the 10 gigabits per second Gen 2 speed. And so you're going to see a whole slew of devices that say USB 3.1, but in my opinion, should really be labeled 3.0.
Well, that's happened a billion times.
Yeah, this is not new, I suppose, but
That's why we consult people like you, little nerds to keep up with the news and tech specs before we buy stuff, right?
yeah. But you know, this is good for you guys to pass on, you know, to your customers who
Of course, yeah.
love to hear enlightened chat.
And they're going to be all about USB 3.1 when it comes out. All those
Well,
computers.
no, but like everyone, they'll have questions, and some person may come
About
up
USB 3.1.
and say, "Hey, I've got these two. 3.1 is better than this one, right?" And they, you know, and they might not be making possibly the right choice in that type of comparison. And I will say,
Yeah.
just devil's in the details as usual. We've mentioned this before. You mention this all the time, and
Most people I talk to are like, "You what? Does the plug fit? Flip it upside down and flip it upside down again."
Every once in a while, you get the guy that
superposition
knows just enough to be dangerous, though, and I believe that this would be one of those things for those types of people, that they know just enough to be dangerous.
Yep.
So
Trust me, people can find a way to make it fit, even if it doesn't fit.
that's true, and that just didn't start with
Well, it's funny that you can't find a way to make it fit even when it should fit the first time you try it. Never.
Yeah, I know. I've tried to insert USB devices
You
all the
look
time
at
and
it,
have it the right way, and it just doesn't go. You flip it over, and of course it doesn't go.
I wouldn't be surprised if you have complaints about USB Type-C, not people not knowing which way to plug it in. It's a completely reversible connector, so that's why I joke about it. But I wouldn't be surprised.
I have actually had difficulty plugging mine in, and I don't know if I think I probably did try flipping it over. And it wasn't because I didn't know better, but it just like it wasn't. I was at a bad angle, or I don't know.
Yeah, people have touted it as basically being something that is going to completely do away with that ritual of you have to insert it at least 3 times to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, that's obviously in jest because there's only 2 positions, so doing it 3 times.
Well, it's not just because it happens just about every time. It's the connector's so weird. You have to line it up right.
But it's going to happen with USB Type-C too. It's going to happen.
Well, the Type-C, yeah, it is the same way. It's just you don't have to flip it. Just keep trying. You know, you don't have to guess wrong or right. Just keep trying the same way, I guess. But,
yeah.
You know, because I've had issues mine on the phone, and it's like either really, really tight or really loose. I haven't figured that one out. That's why I do have 2 cables.
And just wanted to give another shout out to my good friends at Pine64 who gave me basically an extra. I had a shipping problem, and I was over a month without the product after I was given a shipping notification.
What product?
Pine64.
Okay.
and they were so nice that they sent me out another one.
Another cardboard box called Pine 64?
Cardboard box called Pine 64.
Otherwise known as Michael is committing mail fraud.
It is no such
I'm
thing.
glad we got that recorded.
Yeah, because they sent him one and he never got it, but he just got it today. So they sent him another one because he called and complained that they had sent him one and he never got it. And they sent him another one.
Well, they did the right customer service thing.
I think you should contact them and do the right customer thing and say, hey, you sent me an extra board. Do you want me to pay for this?
Right. Would you? Or no? Well, no. I wouldn't do that. But I would contact them and ask them if they want me to send it back, and they can send some prepaid postage for that. But I actually did that one time. Seriously, I got two of one thing. I don't remember what it was, but no, it's probably a $50 item or something. And I called them. I was like, well, I can send it back. And they were like, nah, just keep it. Not worth it. I make you feel better. Do the right thing.
Hey, Michael. Why are you such a bad person? You're like, oh, shout out to me stealing your product.
The additional sales that they'll get will more than just.
You guys are great.
I do think they're great. They're good. They did it right. They corrected. I was having trouble, and
it's always good when a company corrects a problem that wasn't even their problem to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, this was probably more of a shipping thing, but we did talk about it. They're probably insured for the device, and so they probably will make a claim.
No, they probably won't. They'll probably just move on because it'll be too much hassle.
Okay, well, they probably shouldn't have gotten insured. Unless they got free insurance or something like that. If it's just given to them. It's not robbery if you take it from a drone.
That's horrible.
Is that true?
Thank you. What is that fuzzy thing on your screen, Johnny?
Oh, sorry. I have it blocked off because I forgot. Because I'm wearing no clothes, so I don't like broadcasting.
Well, thank you.
Some of us have
to cover that.
You're welcome.
So Nearsoft came out with a new tool. We had talked about their other shadow thing that let you view shadow copies. Now they came out with a recovery for shadow copies that you can view. So
is that more than just an undelete utility?
For shadow copies.
Yeah, it's shadow copy undelete utility.
Okay, but
they came out with a previous version, another program, sub-program of theirs. It's just lets you view the ones that you have available. This one lets you actually recover it. So.
Yeah. D72 custom map.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Speaking of which, Brantley,
Shadow Explorer was the only thing I knew for the longest time.
A little while. There's some
just the installation part of it.
Updated. Just FYI.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
I'm looking at a Raspberry Pi 3 starter kit, $120. There's no
like the portable apps.
Way, right? That's way too much.
They were $50 on Prime Day. With everything.
Look, they're counting. Check this out on this page. Slashed out as much as I might like you, I dislike your practice. Here, let's see. So if you check this out, they're actually counting the IoT version of Windows 10, Kali Linux, Beowulf cluster, Cluster Pi, as basically as valued items. And all those things are free. You can download them completely for free. There's all just operating systems that are free. They're $49 for Windows 10 Internet of Things, $37 they're saying is Kali Linux, and they're saying Cluster Pi is $29.
Yeah, where did they get those numbers?
Yeah, where are they getting those numbers? Just making them up?
Oh no, McDonald's is going to prevent people from watching porn in their Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Oh no, you mean the kids are going to be okay in the playground at McDonald's now?
Oh, Michael, those are classes, aren't they? Yeah.
Online. Online. Free online classes. Yes.
Yeah. They're not free online classes. These are classes that you do have to pay for unless you get them in this bundle.
Okay. Well, maybe there is some value for it. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. I feel a little bit bad about rushing.
I still don't think that it's worth, like, $80 is probably the most I would pay for a Pi 3 starter kit. So that's
Yeah, there were 50 on Prime Day.
$40 more than I would pay.
Okay, let me see though. I'm a little. I want to see if this actually does have a value. If I could pay for this otherwise, and where the actual
Futures Tech Eric, me and a friend of mine were making fun of the fact that Pokemon Go uses portals from Ingress, which a lot of people submitted churches because a church would always get accepted as a portal. So Pokemon Go is sending a bunch of people that are playing a game about evolution to various churches everywhere. So all these people that like Pokemon evolve in the game. So there's literal evolution right there, and they're sending them to churches. So you have a bunch of evolutionists in your parking lot.
Oh no!
Be careful. It'll get dangerous out there.
So I just did some checking, and so it looks like that course is being offered at a retail price of $20, and it's actually offered, if you wanted to buy it right now, $12. But that's a far cry from the $37 value that they're reporting it at. So yeah, I mean, just again, there may be some value to that course, but it's probably closer to the $12 or less. And I wouldn't buy those bundles for those reasons, not to mention that they oftentimes include substandard SD cards.
Hey, did anyone watch Mr. Robot last night? It was pretty good.
I'm hearing more and more about that stuff. I heard somebody on the radio talking about listening to it.
Season 2 came out last night. Have you not seen it at all?
No, I've never watched it.
Not at all.
Never watched Mr. Robot, Michael?
No, but
That show is freaking awesome.
I didn't either. Have you, Proctor?
No, I haven't seen it.
Y'all are crazy. It's like, it's by far up there, if not above.
Oh! No, it wasn't Mr. Robot. My apologies. It wasn't Mr. Robot. The priest one was what they were talking about on the radio this morning that I heard.
Mr. Robot is by far up there with that other Hackers movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's like at least up there, if not better.
Okay. Well, I'll have to watch that. I was getting confused though. The one you were talking about the other day was Priest, and that's what I was talking about referencing. I wasn't actually talking about Priest.
Preacher?
Preacher.
Which is definitely better than that game of whatever.
Mr. Robot? I don't know.
Well, I know the whole story, see.
Yeah. Still, we don't know the whole story for Mr. Robot, so I don't know. Could be much better. Yeah, Phoenix, I don't know if it's better than Game of Thrones. Like,
Phoenix, I don't know if I want to click that link.
That's just a completely separated genre.
I'm not running this in my VM here.
Yeah. Why do you have...
This looks immediately scary. bxjyb.com.
Sheree, read Sheree's comment, Michael.
Michael, you would like Mr. Robot. The show is right up your alley. You talk about this all the time. This robot is now known as Mr. the Plague.
Read the nickname change. No, that Mr. Robot is exactly what you talk about all the time. The security and privacy implications and the debt issues and all
Oh,
of that stuff.
nice. Nice. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go into that, and I'm also maybe we'll take a look at that priest thing too because it's getting a lot of attention as well. And before I forget, if anybody has a Ubisoft account, it looks like you can get Splinter Cell, some Clancy Splinter Cell for free. That applies to anyone
What?
there.
A Ubisoft account?
Splinter Cell? You mean like that's like 10, 20 years old? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's
What is that?
it's a brand new.
Oh, anyway, to celebrate the game's 30th anniversary. Oh, Ubisoft 30th anniversary.
Here is for all our Lego fans out there. It looks like here is a GoPro camera stabilizer. So
neat.
yeah, maybe you could take advantage of something like that, and also have something to do with Wyatt. Maybe with the Legos. Who knows? Could come in a kill two birds with one stone type benefit. So I thought of you for that one.
Thank you.
Now Google apparently, and I missed this. I think this might have been another day.
Yeah, I do have a Ubisoft account.
Is this? What is this saying about forgetting? I'll have to see if I have a Ubisoft account as well. There's a way for Google to forget you. I haven't. Did you guys see anything about this?
Yeah.
Or is this just that thing that shows you what data they have and allows you to clean it?
No, it's something like the EU.
Is it really?
Has a forget me policy.
I was aware, but I certainly thought that would never happen here. I'm kind of surprised about that. And another video link for all of you people who enjoy that. This is a 3D printed rubber band Gatling gun, and rubber band guns are kind of cool. You know, you guys have probably seen ones in the past or built one out of your hand or something of that nature. But that link should be informative.
Oh no, Michael, you're right. This is just about forgetting the data under my account.
Yeah. Okay. So that had been covered by us, I think, previously. There's a place where you can follow the link there to in the story there to see what data Google has on you, and it can be eye-opening to sometimes.
No, it would be a lot cooler if they had the right to be forgotten thing and just brought it over without having to have legislation force them to do it.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean, I really don't see that happening.
They could easily. And it would probably make it all better for everyone. Like, you would love that.
Yeah. Apparently the
if they were able to, you were able to just contact Google and tell them to take everything about you off. You just have to provide a whole bunch of personal identifiable information.
What do you think about Nintendo's? This is an interesting story here I was looking at as it relates to the Pokemon Go, of course. But looks like the Holocaust Museum was in the game, and there may have been reasons for players to play inside the Holocaust Museum. And typically, the Holocaust Museum is a most somber kind of site. And it's a lot of people genuflect. A lot of people use it for meditation or whatever. I mean, whatever the reasons, but it's usually a private thing. And I don't think that it's very good of tended to have sites like that, and it's kind of weird that they have to ask to be removed. Oh, I guess maybe I should provide a link to support one of them.
Wow, Futures Tech.
Okay.
I can't believe you think that Game of Thrones not having the book to follow isn't a great thing. Like this whole past entire season has been like the best season of Game of Thrones so far. And it's because they don't have the books to listen to anymore.
Yeah, so all those R.R. Martin fans maybe need to rethink their allegiances. Or maybe...
No, he's still a primary writer on the show.
Oh, so it's still all of his content.
Yeah, he still writes and tells them how to do stuff.
All right, well, I take that back then. Awesome. The question then being, though, why can't he? I mean, is he just slow with the books? Is that his only problem? He's just slow putting them out. It's not that he lacks the ideas. He just can't trickle them out fast enough. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Usually, like, Stephen King has I believe publishes a tremendous number of books, but he has like a pace. You know what I mean?
They're crappy books.
Well, they're formulaic, I believe, and maybe his newer.
Phoenix wants to know, how is D7X and CP8 coming along? D7X is coming along nicely, and CP8 had a update for the beta version come out yesterday. So if you haven't opened it, check it now, and if you haven't tried it, go to this page and try it.
Oh, do I need to take a look at that? I haven't tested that new version, if that was released, as you say.
Pretty much what you have tested, but...
Yeah, and this is 4.8, this is 4.845?
8...
Or 7.845? 7.845?
7.845.
Yeah, so 7.844 was the previous one. I actually, I did actually run across that update earlier today for a customer who reported an issue, and I really couldn't get a handle on the issue that they had, but I saw that you had put an update out, so I figured I'd try that. It could very well have some improvements. But that begs the question. So, will this be automatically upgraded too? If he had 4.4, should he just would have had to reopen it and then it would have done that? Okay, interesting. Okay, probably just didn't do that after he contacted me.
Anchor Power Core, 10,000.
It's $20 today.
I know.
That's
I need another.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I have 4 of them. Highly recommend.
I've only got 2. But yeah, $30 off, $20. Get one.
That's it seems like a reasonably good deal.
Just came back and saw that.
So, what do you guys think of this? It looks to be an armpit air conditioner.
I'm not clicking that link.
I will. Wait a minute. I don't know if I want to click that link either.
It's fine. It's safe.
It's the pits.
All right.
It's just.
Okay, I like that a lot.
This could the site that linked to it was mentioning fail of the day, tech fail of the day, but the link is safe, guys. We would not put you
right here. Something like that. Yeah.
You got one?
No, it's not for armpits. Oh, it's for your neck. I really need it for armpits. I need to get a clip on this.
You'll do much better in Austin next year.
I'll just use one of these clamps.
You need to
green screen. Bang on my shirt.
Yes, for my chest hair. How did you guys know I had?
Wait.
I do have a good bit of chest hair.
Nick, you need to remember next year that you need to bring air conditioners, like portable air conditioners for yourself.
By the way, I don't think I'm going. We'll talk about that later.
What do you think about MIT's answer to Tor, or an improved Tor for anonymity?
What?
AMD's got an alternative to Tor, claiming it's more secure than Tor.
Did you say AMD?
MIT.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, you did say AMD.
Oh, sorry, MIT, not AMD. Jesus, I'm losing my mind. I was reading an AMD video card article too, so forgive me.
I like the look on that guy's face when he's like,
Those are all stock. Those are all stock.
Doc.
I created a custom app for that Nearsoft utility and stuck it in the dev folder.
Yeah, and please, there's ones in there, I believe. Is that correct, Proctor? 3 or 4 or 5 other ones, I think.
Yeah, there's a few more in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
would be good to be added as well. And I did the rest of those.
get him out.
Or most of them.
Or do I have to do that?
I can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Ooh.
Micro USB,
So,
3 power settings, AAA's,
the performance of the 1060
battery pack in the pocket.
looks like has been released or leaked. So take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. It's probably not as many tests as we're going to see on release day, but it's probably in line. I mean, it could be off, but usually these things, and given the proximity to when this is actually going to be released a little bit later, a couple more weeks, or a week maybe, it's probably accurate. So use that if you're going to video card purchasing decisions. I would take that into consideration, because you may want to wait till that is actually being sold, and it's just another week or two at the most. Before you purchase. So take a look at that.
Cool.
My inbox. Oh.
JSTs.
But feel free to post anything else. I'm starting to run out of.
I thought this is interesting. I haven't really read the article in depth, but it looks like New Orleans is putting in a system that they can. So, like, all the police wear body cameras, and it looks like they're putting in a system where they upload the video from that body camera, and then it makes it searchable. But I like how in the article they say it makes it searchable to police and prosecutors. So you don't have access to it for your defense, but they have access to it for your
prosecution, not persecution.
Oh, that's F. Bad.
Yeah.
Any evidence entered into the court for your prosecution would be available to the defense.
Yeah, you can see the evidence they submit, but not.
You can't search it in advance.
Like, if they use a searching way, they'll give you that segment of the search. Like, you won't get access to the entire searching protocol.
I question the integrity of that.
Yeah, it does sound like it could be abused very easily. But Proctor does bring up a good point, though. But I believe that even with how it may be addressed in what you were talking about, Brantley.
Well, and also, too, like, so if they didn't want to submit like they searched for it and was like, oh, we don't want to submit that, they wouldn't have to submit that. And then,
yeah, in other words, if the cop did something inappropriate, they could just basically hush it up, and the rest of the world would never.
You said if.
The rest of the world would never know about it, and I say if.
I've often wondered if I should be wearing a body camera in case I need to defend myself.
Yeah, and it might be something worthwhile, but you got to watch that too, because I think that they've addressed this, but it used to be that there were some cops out there that would take your camera and otherwise claim that you couldn't record them.
Well, as Eric mentions too, the cameras of the police officers can become dislodged. Oh, the footage was not seen, or like
Yeah.
they had their arm over it, or
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother like
And then when they grab it off your lapel and they throw it to the ground and they stomp their foot on it, at what point are you going to be able to use that evidence
lapel.
against them? Yeah, it's these are the issues, and this is why that Fourth Amendment caucus or whatever, another thing. I mean, that's not really Fourth Amendment isn't the same thing, but still, it's important that we not give up these rights, these constitutional rights that we have, and they certainly can't be.
Well, it's not like we really have them. They just exist on paper.
Well,
I'm all for a personal body camera all the time, but that's probably the only thing I would say that would be a good idea as an implant. And even then, you've got to be able to,
that's interesting.
I don't know, because when you're private, I don't know, actually. But, I mean, just going out, that's bad, I mean, you can't expect an encounter with the government of any level to go the way that it's supposed to unless you have evidence or you can prove.
Check out that image. Wouldn't you love to get be the tech, be the car tech that works on that problem?
Guest was playing Pokemon Go and ran over a curb. Undercarriage.
But
that was back to that drive safely part, huh?
Well, yeah, that other
your Pokemon Go.
That kid got killed getting run over.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, there was a. Oh, you didn't get that one? Oh,
that said it was a curb.
No, the curb. It's not the same article. There's a different one. There was a kid who was basically struck by a car while playing Pokemon Go because he wasn't paying attention. So.
Well, we have made it to our hour time limit. Do we want to wrap her up for today?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, Phoenix, we don't. We don't really like to do anything outside of what we already do, by the way, which is too much. But if you're talking about someone else, okay. Are you selling for them? I saw you put that link in earlier, but without so much enthusiasm.
Yeah, you got to disclose your motivations, Phoenix. If you're promoting something that you're financially involved in, you need to.
No.
We appreciate that. Believe me, we're not saying that because.
Oh, this one's a way cooler Nintendo thing. Before we wrap it up here. Another project that you can do with the Pi that you can't do with the Odroid or Pine 64. And it's got a little cartridge case.
Although I will admit that this particular one is particularly unsuitable for a Pine 64 because of the dimensions. However, the dimensions would work perfectly fine with an Odroid.
It looks cute, and it's not an Odroid or a Pine 64.
Okay.
It's a Raspberry Pi.
The 3D printed case, I think is interesting.
All right, before Michael says anything else, let's go ahead and wrap her up for today. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. It was, wasn't it? Are you taking us out, Proctor?